we got to talk about Christian McCaffrey. He's not at OTAs. It's voluntary. But Nick Bosa is there. And Kyle asked him to come. And Bosa had to go because they paid him. I don't think they can make that request with Christian McCaffrey. He has his own desires and grievances or whatever, don't we all?
Yes.
What do you think of Christian McCaffrey missing this? And do you think he's undercompensated?
Well, clarify if I'm incorrect, but I think a lot of he's missing it. So there's two things going on. He's missing it because of his wedding, supposedly, maybe, but also he does want to get guaranteed money. I think both things can be true, and maybe part of the reason why he's missing it is agents like, hey, dude, if you get injured, there's no guaranteed money. You should probably sit this one out, go to your wedding, then address it. But I know that he also, it's been reported he wants to get guaranteed money, and he should. He's the number one offense player of the year. He's the number one weapon for Kyle Shanahan's offense. I have mixed feelings about paying players, right? I see it from their perspective. I also see it from the organization perspective. He's already the number one paid running back in the NFL. But he does more for this team just as a running back. Really, if he was just a running back, then I would say they're overpaying him. But because of everything he does for this team, the threat as a passing threat, big game breakaways, big play breakaways, I understand where he's coming from, and I think all these players need to go after their money. Is he undercompensated? No, probably not, because he's the highest paid running back in the NFL. And so he's good. But then when you see guys like Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel are going to make more money than Christian McCaffrey when Christian McCaffrey's their number one weapon, like it's almost like, who cares what my position is? Like, look what I do for you. So I kind of get it.
Well, think about it from this perspective. Brandon Aiyuk is not showing up to OTAs, and everyone understands why. Like, oh yeah, $14 million they're asking him to play on this year. That's disrespectful. Like he shouldn't be there. That's part of the business. Well, McCaffrey's scheduled to earn $12 million this year, 11.8 to be exact. And everyone's like, what's the problem? You're a running back, which is true. But at the same time, from his perspective, if I were him, I'd be thinking, okay, you could call me what you want, but I'm the best player on this offense. I was the offensive player of the year. Everything goes through me. So if Aiyuk wants to be upset and hold out for more money because he's only making 14 plus, then why do I have to show up if I'm only making 11.8? And you could say that this is what comes with playing the position, but let's see how you guys do without me, at least for a week.
I get it, man. Like, honestly, it really doesn't matter what position you play. It shouldn't really matter what position you play. Now, I know there's a going rate for certain positions. Like quarterback, you're always going to get more than like a decent quarterback is going to get paid more than the best wide receiver. It's just how it works. But with Christian McCaffrey, they just have him, they're on a running back pay scale, but he does a lot more. And like you said, he's the most effective, the most utilized, the best offensive player, maybe outside of Trent Williams on the whole entire team. So I get it. I mean, if I was Christian McCaffrey and I know I'm the damn workhorse on this team, and I see Deebo and Brandon Aiyuk and George Kittle getting paid way more than me, I'd probably want the same thing, especially with no guaranteed money. Like no guaranteed money coming in this season. I
feel like that people aren't really talking about it, but it seems to me like the players and the front office are a little at odds right now. And like the last few years, it was sort of understood on this team, you want to take a little less. And you guys are going for a Super Bowl. So it's not really about how much money you're going to make. I mean, you'll make a lot, but if you take a little less, you can keep this thing going, win some championships, and be immortalized. They didn't win the Super Bowl, though. And it seems like now the theme of the offseason is I need to get what's mine. And the Niners' theme of the offseason is we need to get people to play for less than market value for one more year. And I don't know if they thought Eric Armstead would take the pay cut or what, but Armstead said, absolutely not. I'd rather play for the Jaguars. I'd rather make more money in Jacksonville than sacrifice for another quest for 6. Like, Jacksonville's fine by me. And it seems like Aiyuk's attitude is, I could go to Jacksonville, I could go to Pittsburgh, I'll go wherever they want to pay me. And that's I don't know, it seems different than what was going on with this team the last few years. Like McCaffrey is going for himself now too. I thought he was supposed to be the ultimate team player, but look, think about it this way. He had a no trade clause with Carolina. He waived it. He comes to California, which means he gets less profit because there's more taxes out here. And all he did was deliver for the 49ers and play every game and be the offensive player of the year. Like, maybe from his perspective, like, hey, do something for me. Do something.
I feel it, man. Like, I do. Like, I understand why. And this whole player like me first thing, it should all, I mean, can we be real here? Like, it should be player. You should be thinking about your family and your pay over everything as a professional athlete. I mean, I hate to say that now if it's close, right? Like, I can go here and make this amount of money, or I can go to a team that could win the Super Bowl and make slightly less. Okay, then you weigh it. But if it's like I can make way more over here versus come here and have a chance to win a Super Bowl and make a lot less, I mean, you have to think of your family. That's more important. Like, a lot of teams, they like to say, like, we're a family. No, your real family's at home, at your house, your wife, your kids, your mother, your father. That's your real family. Those are the people that you have to think of first. And then after that, it becomes team first, right? So it's like, get your payday, and then you can prioritize team. Debo's already paid. So now he can focus on what's best for the team. Trent Williams is already paid. He can focus on what's best for the team now, but you got to get that first part done first,
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like the Niners are now bending over backwards to try to work something out with Aiyuk, who has this grievance because he's not making $30 million a year. And I just seems like maybe I'm projecting, but if I were McCaffrey, I'd think I'm better than Aiyuk. I was the offensive player of the year, not him. What are we talking about here? Like, this guy gets $30 million a year and I'm expected to show up to OTAs for 11? No,
not guaranteed either. Yeah.
No. You want me to show up? You want to give me, because we're going to talk about Bosa in a second. Kyle called Bosa and explained to him why it was in his interest, in the team's interest, for him to be there, and asked if he disagreed. And Bosa was like, no, I don't disagree. But he wasn't planning on being here so early at OTAs until Kyle asked him. You can't make that request with Christian McCaffrey because he would have his own. Clearly.
Bosa's already been paid. He's one of those guys, right? Like Trent, like Debo. Bosa's already taken care of what was important first, which is his family, his money. And he sat out all freaking last year waiting to get that. Same thing BA is doing, same thing CMC wants to do. So, like, yes, it looks great now because he's already got that bag and he can be team first because he's already in the position to afford to be team first. But when you haven't got your big payday, you have to think your family first, your actual family first, which is the people at home, not the 49ers family. It's just not reality, not how it works. It's business. It's professional sports. And you got to be professional. You got to get your money. So I understand why McCaffrey's doing what he's doing. I think Brandon Aiyuk, I see a lot of people talking about Brandon Aiyuk like he's being selfish. Like, get real. Like, if you were in that situation, you would be chasing what's most important, which is providing generational money for your family. And, it's convenient for Nick Bosa to be able to show up now because he's already got that.
All I know is this team thought they were the best team in football last year. They thought they were going to win the Super Bowl, and they approached the offseason with that kind of mentality. We're the best. We should have proven it last year, but Purdy got hurt. We're going to prove it this year. And they stayed healthy, and they got to the Super Bowl, and they didn't prove it. And this year seems like a whole different attitude. It's not like, hold us back. We got something to prove. It's like, I need more money. Hey, me too. Oh, that's what we're doing this off. I also need more money.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's going to be even more so next year. I mean, I think, not only is it because I don't think it's necessarily as much because they went to the Super Bowl, lost, and I don't think that's really it. It's just the contracts are up right now, and next year even more contracts are going to be up. So you're going to see a lot of people with this same mentality. It's one of the benefits of this coming season. I think a lot of people are playing for the bag, but right now you got Brandon Aiyuk who wants to get compensated for what he's done. You got Christian McCaffrey who wants guaranteed money. Like, I don't even know if you need to pay Christian McCaffrey more, but you need to guarantee him that he's going to get some money as a running back. I think that's probably what's most important to Christian right now. So I get it, man. And we're going to see a lot more next year.
Yeah, like, theoretically, if he goes to practice and gets injured and it's really, 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 really serious and it affects his career, the Niners could cut him and he'd have no guaranteed money left. Theoretically. So maybe it's not in his interest to go to a practice he doesn't have to in May unless the Niners make it worth his while. And if that's the case, like maybe they should just guarantee his salary for this year. I don't know. Like, how much do you? It seems like how much do you want to win the Super Bowl? Okay, like you know that this grievance you had with Bosa, not grievance, but this holdout with Bosa last year didn't help the team, didn't help Bosa. It was bad. The year before with Debo when he wasn't there all offseason, it didn't help Debo, it didn't help the team. Like, if you want to win the Super Bowl, do you really want to win? What do you want to win, the Super Bowl or this negotiation? And if you do win this negotiation, how much money do you save and what does it cost you on the field? Like, don't you just want McCaffrey there?
Yeah, like break this down for me, Grant.
Yeah.
Break this down for me. You're an NFL player. 3 things. Get paid, Hall of Fame, Super Bowl. What order do you have those things in?
Get paid's 1.
Get paid's number 1.
Hall of Fame's 2. Super Bowl's 3. Even though you say it's a team sport, but the individual accolades are what matter for a lot of these players. Yeah.
I think if you got an honest answer from almost every player, that's it. They want to get paid. They would love to make the Hall of Fame, and then it's win a Super Bowl. I think that's the reality that fans don't really want to accept.
Okay, I'm going to come down hard on McCaffrey right now, just because I feel like we're older. Like, he skipped out on Stanford at the end, and now he's not going to OTAs. Fine. Like, a lot of people don't go to OTAs. But you know who did, I think, pretty sure, all the time? Jerry Rice. You want to be that level of player, like the best. Would you have touchdowns in 17 straight games? Like, that's what Jerry did. That's the standard. And I just don't understand someone who's supposed to be the best, like, not. You have to hold him back. I thought with Jerry, you had to hold him back. I saw Jerry at practice a few years ago. He was on the field. He's in his 50s. He's on the field doing the drills. It was freaking, like, I don't know, man. Come on, McCaffrey. You should be there.
Well,
Bosa's there.
Jerry wanted to be the best. And not everyone's like that. Kobe was like that. Jordan was like that. Jerry's like that.
I thought McCaffrey was like that. He was there last year. He was the offensive player of the year. I thought that was his standard. And maybe maybe not anymore. I don't know. Well, it's too bad.
Let's be real, though. If Christian McCaffrey's out there grinding, working on himself, is OTAs what's going to make him the best version of himself, or is just working hard and grinding going to make him the best version of himself? Does OTAs matter for Christian McCaffrey, or does it matter more for the Niners with Christian McCaffrey's here?
That's a great question. I think, one, it does help. He's supposed to be the leader of the team, a captain, and shows everyone else this matters. I mean, that's why they asked Bosa to be here. Like, if you don't show up, no one's going to be here. That matters. Like, your presence will make this more serious. And then you're trying to install a new offense. Like, how much can you really do without McCaffrey? McCaffrey is the offense. That seems kind of tough to install whatever you're trying to install. So,
yeah.
It's not ideal. Also, like, you're paying your coaches a lot of money, right? Bobby Turner, he means something. He's not there. You're not coaching him. He's not getting better. This is what happened with Bosa last year. Bosa said he couldn't work on his hand movement and stuff, his hand usage. Like, yeah, that's what you do in practice. That's what you can't do at home. That's why they pay Chris Kasarik $2 million a year or whatever. Stuff matters. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe McCaffrey will be the offensive player of the year again this year. I doubt it.
He probably won't be. But here's the solution. Guarantee him some money. I don't know. Yeah. You got to get. You can't have the same expectation for Christian McCaffrey in this situation as you have for Nick Bosa, who's already paid and guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like, guarantee him some money, and then I'm sure he would show up. Christian's a great team guy when it's appropriate, but right now, number one priority for Christian is get paid.